Yeah, I know what you mean, mate.
See, the thing I said to you I would do, we've just done. Um,
You started it mid.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
Um, yeah. Obviously, I'll throw myself off now. So we're sort of heading back into a point now on the channel where we're what a glorious beard. Now, who are you talking about, Helen? I mean, in fact, both of them are glorious beards, but Mark has that nice dignified white stripe.
The
That
silver fox.
Yeah, I actually put that on Mac when I'm at LARP. I actually paint that on. So because I get it on the sides, I've got it on the sides, but I actually
Ah.
put it in there. So it's all. So, oh fucking hell! So basically, when I first started up this channel, um, Mark was probably the third person I interviewed. I
Yeah,
think
I
I
think
spoke
so.
to Kit, and let's face it, it was a disaster. The audio was it was a learning experience for everybody involved. I like to
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And now look at us. We've got
Definite
mics.
improvements.
Yeah, we got microphones. We've
Cameras.
got cameras. We've got merch.
Yeah.
Oh dear. We've come a long way. I think to say that both of us, with what we're trying to do in the social media online entertainment sort of realm, you've come a long way in everything with your planning, your YouTube videos, and like we were talking about the ministry one beforehand, which was fantastic, and that the most fearsome of all shirts as well.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
We've come a long way. You have definitely
Yeah.
come a long way.
Oh, don't. I think you as well, though, mate. I mean, I was saying the other day we have the team meetings every week,
Mm.
and I was basically saying how the community you've built is absolutely phenomenal. So when I originally signed up onto your Discord and the rest of it and all that jazz, it was quite small, but now it's just like it's absolutely thriving with people chatting on there, talking about stuff, sharing stories, sharing costume ideas, just generally chatting about all kinds of stuff. You've made a really fantastic community on that channel, and
We've just had a
it's also
comment. Rachel has just said, "I feel like this is a really weird version of Spot the Difference."
does that mean we've got to hold a pose and see if people can spot?
No, it's come a long way because I think when you joined, I had like 8 people
Yeah,
on there and stuff like that. It's definitely come a long way.
yeah,
Helen
yeah.
has said collectively we're one grey beard. So, I mean, besides you. So
Yeah,
yeah, clip
it's
that,
been good.
people. Uh,
No, it's been good. It's been, I think, for both of us, it's been a productive year, and it's positive. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I'm happy.
good. Well, you certainly seem a lot happier than you
Last
did
time,
last
yeah,
time. I think you had come across all of the. Oh, thanks, Alfie, for the bits, mate. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. Um, you had all the teething problems of a new project, hadn't you? That was
yeah.
starting up, and you had
Oh yeah,
everything
yeah.
that could go wrong was going wrong.
Oh, massively, massively. Yeah, it was a
Mm.
huge learning curve and something that I've never done before or been involved in before. I
Yeah,
just went, I want to make a laugh and I really want to do it like this, and then you hit all of the snags along the way, you know.
mm.
But I think now it's definitely it's been a learning curve. But at the moment, it's this. I think in the last kind of like 6 months, it's really started to pick up speed, which is
Yeah,
fantastic. Um, so yeah, and it's just one of those things. I think that the hardest thing to do as a content creator is just trying to keep yourself motivated and trying to not let things get on top of you. Um,
mm.
so I'm going to hold my hands up and say recently I had a little bit of a low point, and it was fantastic to see the community rally around me and be like offer advice on how I can improve
Mm.
videos, point out that actually they like the content I'm creating and stuff like this, and that's what then inspired that ministry video.
Mm.
So it was getting myself out of that rut that I'd got myself in, where I was thinking that what I was
Yeah.
doing wasn't good enough. And you get those little brain weasels get in there, and you can't
Oh
really
yeah, yeah.
talk about it too much because at the end of the day, you're trying to put on you want people to
Put on a brave face,
see,
don't you?
yeah, you want to see people see you positive. You don't want a negative person. So
No.
yeah, it was good, and yeah, as I say, all those ups and downs and stuff, but it's been fun.
Because I've had a similar thing recently. As you say, the community. It's like this community is amazing, and I want to do everything I can for everybody here. It's like I saw your wobble 8 days after you had it. Thank you, Facebook.
Well, mate, Facebook is the best. It's really good. Right. So I've got this thing where once a year on World Mental Health Day, I open up and I take off the facade, if you see what I mean, and just let people know what's going on. And this year I made a video about it, and it was the first time I've ever really shown, behind the curtain, if you see what I mean, about what's been going on. And I posted it on Facebook, and then I updated my profile picture to World Mental Health Day, and of course Facebook went aha and shared that, and the video just disappeared into obscurity, and I just went,
wow,
so deflated. But that's what I mean about Facebook, is it just doesn't seem to do what you want it to do.
No. LARP Wifey 2020 has just followed, so looking good, guys. Thank you. Cool. I don't know whose LARP Wifey you are, but I'm sure they're very happy.
Oh, I'm being told. Oh, it's Katie. It's Katie. Katie. She's just popped in to let me know it was her. So just in case anybody's wondering, that was my wife.
So yeah, you are very happy, Mark. Obviously. As Rachel just said, she's a collective wife. I don't think Mark's the sharing type. Oh God. Oh man. But yeah, everything has come a long way, and it's all been massive. I mean, I think the big things are when you start to get stuff. So obviously we've both had, because we'll talk about yours in a little bit. We both had the NDAs for different projects. Yours is bigger than what mine was for. Mine was for a game, but it was great fun. Loved doing it, and put me up amongst all the big boys who then tried to stop me.
You held your own. It was good.
Wankers. I've decided that I think I'm gonna. I've always been told that I call bullshit out when I see bullshit, and I did it, and that's what I'm doing there. So basically, it's just sort of like, no, they can't keep that down. It was like with when I was talking to Jasper on Monday. There was a certain LARP in Canada has been accused of. They've had certain allegations made about them, and I'd call them out on it there and then, and it's sort of like, they can take a video down. That's it, really. I don't care. But yeah, basically, it's a bunch of pricks. So, yes, I mean, it's all, everything has grown from you massively. So because you've been doing some work for. Okay, Liam, if you want to put a link in, mate. I don't know if Helen is in, so yeah, send the link to Helen. Didn't mean to link, just joking. Fine. Because you've been doing some work with, you're working on a project at the moment, aren't you? With a decent sized company, we shall say.
In theory, yes. It's so basically, By Night Studios reached out to me. I think it was about 3 months ago on their Discord. They just said, I think I posted up an image of what we're doing for the forums, for the game, and Ryan reached out, who's the president of By Night Studios, and he's like, look, send me a private message. I'm keen to chat. So we had a brief chat over private messenger, and I used the opportunity to kind of maybe show a little bit more of the project, and from that, I was then put in touch with his secretary, who then arranged a meeting for us. So we had a meeting with Ryan, and that went really well. Um, Loads were learned from it in regards
Mm.
to just what we've been doing and suggestions of what we could possibly do in the future and things that we could do
Yeah.
to work alongside them and stuff like this. Basically, it was just like a think tank in a way.
Mm.
And coming out the back of that, we signed an NDA, which for some stuff that I can't talk about. And then on the next meeting we had, I then got the rest of the team, all the crew were there, big introduction, and then we went through a little bit more, kind of not really finalising stuff, just talking more, if you see what I mean, just kind of expanding on what we discussed the previous one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really, really positive. So they're interested in supporting us going forwards. They like what we're doing with the YouTube channel, and they like what we're doing with the LARP. They're very happy with what we're trying to do to kind of build the community, which I think, I'm not the only one at all with this.
No.
Excuse me. Ryan himself is a fantastic guy who's reaching out to basically content creators and people of the community that are doing stuff to build the community and going, what can we do to help? How can we support you? And that's fantastic for that to happen, because when I first started this project, that was my dream, to be in a position where By Night Studios, World of Darkness would kind of reach out and go, we like that, how can we help? And I think that by getting to that point, it was a huge motivational thing, because that literally was, back at the very beginning, that's the kind of thing when because I was paranoid and petrified that what I'm doing would anger them and cause them upset, and they would reach out and be like, stop what you're doing, that's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was absolutely, that's why I looked into it with the whole Dark Pact and what that means, keeping records of all of our expenditures and stuff to show, being transparent about it, show what money's come in and where it's been going, and that it's not profit, it's trying, you know what I mean? So so it's fantastic. And because of that, we left that meeting, and then the crew had a really long team meeting, heart to heart, about what we're doing with the project going forwards. And that was the kind of truth bomb thing that I want to kind of drop tonight, is that the project was originally aimed at a Sabbat as a faction and the Camarilla as a faction. It was set in 1999, which then changed to 1994. And it was going to be a war between the Sabbat and the Camarilla for Southampton.
Yeah.
It was going to be a 4-year chronicle that would then have 2 more chronicles of 4 years afterwards, depending on player. The outcome of the first chronicle to decide what happens next.
Yes.
That was the kind of remit of the plan. It was going to be international. There was going to be geocaching, all kinds of stuff. Now, after this, along the way, the geocaching got left to one side due to the basically budget and time and how many people we had working on the project. The international stuff is still going ahead, but it's changed slightly. And then, as I say, we had that team meeting. And what's come out the back of that is that we are now going to be taking a different direction. So, now we're going to V5. So all of the content that's going to be in the game will be based off of the V5 universe.
Right, okay.
So that's a huge change up, because now we're on that. Before we were on this side of the fence, and now we're on this side of the fence. There shouldn't be a fence, everybody, but there seems to be one.
Okay. I have to stop you there quickly, Mark, because they're trying to put links into chat. All of the stuff that Mark's talking about, so his channel, website, all of this sort of stuff, I am creating a specific channel for it in the Discord, because this is going to help Mark as well. So this will have YouTube links, his website links. So obviously, if you get questions as well, you can put it in there, and if Mark sees it, Mark can answer as well. So it's going to be a specific thing there as well. So everything will be in there. So don't worry about link videos or anything like that. You will get them all, because they're all going to go into the Discord as well. Okay. So really don't worry about that. But yeah, anyway, sorry, mate, carry on.
Right, yeah. So V5. There was lots of reasons why we decided to go to V5. One of which was creative freedom. Second one is that is a direction that basically Paradox, White Wolf, World of Darkness, By Night Studios, whatever you want to call it, the entity That seems to be the direction the products are going in at the moment. In regards to, if you look at things like Bloodlines 2, and a lot of the games that have been coming out, they're all set in that universe. So it makes sense for us to tie in with what's being created and content out there, because then we can keep up with the times.
Yeah.
Also, there's 5 books, right? So
Yeah.
there's 5 books to get all of the material that we need for the laws, for who's a who, what's happening, what's gonna. 5 books. Whilst V20, there's years worth of content you have to look through. The other reason was everybody knows what's happened in V20. So if we set the game in 1994, everybody knows what's going to happen in the world events and everything going forwards, because it's already happened.
Yeah. I remember because I pissed off. Well, I say pissed off. It led to I had quite an interesting tweet conversation with Jason Carl about certain things. As he was going, "Oh, I want to do this. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this." And I went, "Yeah, that's great. But what about the Giovanni?" And he went, "But what about all of this?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine, mate. But what about the Giovanni?" And he's like, "Wait a minute. We're doing all of this, and you're only interested in the Giovanni?" And I was just like, "Yeah. What's happening to the Giovanni?" It's like, well, we're making an announcement next week, but for you, there's a book coming out, and you're gonna be interested in this area over here, all right? And I was just like, cool.
I thought it was fantastic what happened to the Giovanni. I thought it was very interesting, and the Tremere. I was very keen on what happened to the Tremere, I have to admit.
Yeah, you're getting questions now. Do you want to have some questions?
Of course, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, right. So first of all, we've had Rachel say Bloodline 2 Electric Blood Glue. Yeah, I know. So Liam has said. Now, Liam works in like advertise. He does stuff like that. He makes films and stuff like that as well. So he said, question, is there any chance to get involved in a part of the project? I do filmmaking, photography, love everything to do with vampires. I think he made a short film about vampires as well.
Okay.
And would be happy to help either as a promo vid or vid if possible, or even pics to promote. Well, if we put something in, when I've done the Discord channel, if he posts you some links and stuff like that, then you two can have a look at it all. But because obviously there's no pressure there.
I could answer that straight away and say yes, or we'd be interested in doing it. 2 reasons: if it helps promote you and it helps promote us and it helps make the community better, then we're up for it. Whatever we can do to help you in return, of course. Yeah, so definitely afterwards, mate, we'll have a chat and set something up. So very cool.
And Rachel has asked, what is your favourite clan and why is it Toreador?
Oh, okay. So unfortunately, Toreador is not my favourite clan.
No.
Although I do like the Toreador for what they do politically.
Bollocks. No one likes the Toreador.
No, I think, because the thing is, I dislike the Vontru and I dislike the Tremere. So for me, the next political clan that actually does something cool is kind of the Toreador. But my favourite clan is Clan Nosferatu.
Because everybody loved Mr. Rat.
No, it's not just Mr. Rat, although it
is Mr. Rat.
It's because I love Clan Nosferatu for the feeling that I had of seeing something in the game that I hadn't experienced before. So whilst the Clan Brujah, when I played one of them, was very family orientated, but also a bunch of riffraff in a way, in that we all had our own views and opinions on things, I felt that Clan Nosferatu was the first time I played a character that felt like it was part of a family unit, where it was about sharing the information amongst us to make us all look like we were awesome, not just one person trying to be the biggest. And there were so many times where after a game had taken place that another Nosferatu character would share what happened in that game with everybody within the network. That way, when we went to another game, everybody knew what had happened in all the other places. So it looked like we knew everything, when all it was, we just read what somebody else had seen. And it was the first time that I got that feeling of, as I say, family unit within the game. And yeah, Mr. Rat, he played a purpose. He was a distraction. My job was to turn up to games and be loud and boisterous and fun and entertaining to try and take everybody's eyes over there, whilst another Nosferatu was quietly doing something outside the other side. It was thoroughly enjoyable. So yeah, Clan Nosferatu is my favourite, closely followed by Clan Brouillard.
Yeah, because Alex has actually, she said, does Mark play? They said, does Mark play in the Southampton game? I knew he looked really familiar. Alex is a friend of another player,
Right.
and has actually been to the game and NPC'd. I think
Okay.
I believe it was for you and Kit as well.
All right.
So
Um, yeah. So yeah, we still do play. When the game kicks back off again, we are still interested in coming along. We played in UKM, or we have been playing in UKM now for over 15 years.
mm,
And at one point, I was running the Southampton domain,
yeah,
which has now been handed over to James and John, I believe, and also Andy and yourself.
and me,
It's
yeah,
changed,
yeah,
but yeah. So it's one of those things. It's definitely my love for Vampire Larp came from UKM, so it's got a real strong part. It means a lot to me, the game. So
yeah.
I very much. That's yeah. So if you recognise me from Vampire Larp, that's where it would have been from.
Yeah. So, Weird Phoenix, howdy, it's Heather. Sorry I'm late to the party. Had trouble logging into my Switch. No worries. You're here. That's the main thing. Rosie goes, have arrived a bit late. What's being talked about today? So, Rosie, today we're chatting to Mark about Vampire the Masquerade version. It'll be version 5. And I'd had a chat with Mark just over a year ago now. And we've already spent 10 minutes laughing about how much things have changed.
Very much.
Very much. We can hear each other properly now.
Yeah. It's so much better.
I understand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. That's what it was last time.
So Southampton by night going V5 law or V20. No, that's Southampton by. Oh no, it's Southampton by night. That's
that's
you.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah. I was just
we're going.
No, yeah.
We're going V5 now.
Yeah.
We've made the transition. We've changed our meta plots. We've changed our NPCs over. I think we're up to about 20 fully fleshed out characters now for the game, including backstories, ties to the world plot, etc. We've got a meta plot spanning 4 years. We've got the first game plan for it, which is another interesting thing.
Yeah.
So we're holding 2 types of LARP. So once a year, we're going to hold a Nordic LARP, big party. It's going to be Succubus Club. We'll be attending Southampton. We're going to try and hire out a place like Oceania or something like that. Invite everybody from everywhere. You generate your characters. If anybody has ever heard of the
so you're doing like the one in New Orleans.
Yeah, the Night in Question style. So you've got but pretty much it's you generate a character. There will be set rules for how that character is generated and stuff like that. So basically, it's pretty Nordic style is more aimed towards your backstory and your the social aspects of your character, not the stats in a way. So basically, you're generating that character from that. Then when you turn up to the Nordic LARP, we're basically going to have a scripted events that are going to take place throughout the evening that will tell a story. And also, of course, you'll have all of your interactions going on, and then we're going to have side plots going on and all kinds of stuff. But it's going to be pretty much that if you've never heard us about Vampire by Night before, or LARP, you can turn up to that, have a great time being a vampire in a nightclub full of other vampires in a nightclub. And that's how we're going to introduce people to us.
Yeah.
And then throughout the year, we'll hold 6 games, 3 Anarch, 3 Camarilla, and that will be all of the war of Southampton and what's happening within Southampton and stuff like that. So, yeah, and that's pretty much the plan at the moment. So the first game we're going to hold is going to be next year, and it's going to be the Nordic LARP. That's what we're aiming for next year. Because of COVID and other stuff, it's been impossible to even attempt to launch this year. And what we've been doing is, because that's when we decided to do that transition, and that's given us now the time to get everything prepped and ready. So when we do that Nordic LARP, it's going to be hopefully big, impressive, fun, and something that's going to really kickstart, like the social media for Vampire LARP. and get loads of other people inspired to do their own thing. You know what I mean? That's the plan anyway.
Yeah.
And we're going to be documented all the way through. So I'm going to do the whole Peter Jackson style documentary, fly on the wall, of what's going into making it, behind the scenes of the setup of it, behind the scenes of talking to some of the NPCs that appeared that night. If we're lucky, we might get some guests appearing there. Fingers crossed, you never know. Which means you guys might be able to meet some people in the community that are quite influential. That'd be nice. But yeah, that's the plan basically.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Stumpy Grumpy Grandad, whoever that is, has just said, "You'll like this." For those of us with no patience for Steve to set things up on the Discord, that's all I can say. It will all be set up as soon as this stream is done. I will be going onto Discord to set everything up. It will be there within 5 minutes. Okay, there will be a channel, and Mark will be a mod within that channel as well, so he can do everything in that channel as well. So I'll get all of that set up. So don't worry, it's going to take 5 minutes. I will have to run off for my my after stream wee as normal, but yeah, I'll wash my hands, come back and do that.
Yeah, and Chrissy, if you're watching as well, I'll make sure that Steve's got you involved in that as well. Chrissy is now my community manager, so hopefully she's watching and can.
I believe I've already seen Chrissy on there, so yeah, just has to join the Discord, and then I'll do this. I'll do the same there as well. So, but yes, age doesn't always grant patience. No, this is very, very true, my friend. So, but yeah, so it'll all be in the Discord after the stream. I'll get everything sorted there. Okay. So, Rosie has said this sounds so cool. My costume brain is going crazy.
Awesome.
Everyone nerding out massively. Yeah, people are very, very excited about this.
Good.
So, my only experience.
Go on, go for it.
I'm here, dude. You'll look amazeballs. To be fair, you will have no clue who I am, as this is my first time watching a stream. I was attracted by a post in the UK LARP group on Facebook. Oh, damn you and your being cleverness. But welcome. Anyway, mate, welcome. I watched the LA by Night that Jason Carl did and stuff like that. And I love some of the characters. Really dislike one of the characters massively.
Which one?
Which one do I dislike?
Yeah.
The Brewer.
Oh, which the Brew? Oh, from season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of, but don't forget, I think she was portraying though the fact of that naivety of. I probably said that wrong. Naivete.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool. There you go. Big word for me today.
Well done, you.
Toilet paper. Yeah. So I think they were. I think what she was portraying was that kind of naivety of a newly embraced kindred who didn't understand, and also portraying it as someone who was young, cocky, and sure of themselves, and didn't understand a kick against authority. Maybe I can understand what was jarring.
No, that was fine. I enjoyed that.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed that. It was all the way through season 2 as well, and it was this like. It's like, no, you can't do this, you can't do this. But I want to. It's like, stop fucking crying!
Okay.
It's like, please stop! But Dave B. Walters, as the Baron, oh my god. That's a character and a half. He was amazing. Absolutely incredible. Someone clip that. It is so good. So good. Yeah, so I really, really like that. And Jason Carl as an ST as well. Bloody hell. It's just like, he's so calm. He's so chilled.
I don't know how he does it.
No, I don't either.
Whenever I've attempted a GM, I'm like someone who's very hyped up on sugar. I've got all this stuff I want to share with you. And it gets crazy and people don't really enjoy it. So, but Jason, he's, yeah, it's good. It's nice to listen. I think for me, I'll be full disclosure, I've only seen the first 3 episodes. Nice. But for me, watching through it, I found that the characters were really cool, engaging. They were all different. Jason had a very easy to listen to way of telling the story and describing stuff, which is good and enjoyable. And also something that I think's inspired a lot of other people to go out and try it themselves.
Yeah,
which is also very cool.
yeah. As Stumpy Grumpy Grandad has said, LA by Night got me back into Vampire the Masquerade, and haven't played or read anything since about 1998.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's. I've been reading it and playing it for 20 years. So ever since my cousin, my first introduction to it was actually Mage, and
Oh,
then
wow.
he went, oh, I've got Vampire as well, and it's just like, oh, I've read that, and I've been hooked ever since. And I remember the first first character I read up on was actually Samuel Haight, of all people. Do you know who Samuel Haight is?
Samuel Hay.
Samuel Haight.
Hate no, but I know two people that would. Stu and Chris are probably watching this going, well, we know who that is.
The Skinner. There we go.
The Skinner.
Yeah, he was kinfolk. He was also he basically became he essentially became all three: vampire, werewolf, and mage.
Okay.
Really, really dodgy shit.
Okay. So now we know where the story of Underworld came from.
Well, yeah, that's probably where Underworld got sued. Why they got sued. So he was fantastic. Yeah, mechanically, what the fuck? Yeah, it was broken, really, really broken, but it was great. It was really, really interesting to read, really, really fascinating. But yeah, that's the sort of, so that's where I started from with it all. But with V5, I'm hearing a lot of good things.
I was amazed. So I'll be honest. I'm old guard. All I know is V20. So for me to transition to V5, I was like, oh, I don't really want to learn everything again. But after I picked up the book and had a look at it, even the first few pages of what they've done, it's fantastic. It's because they've modernized it in the nicest possible way. V20 was created in a time period where things were more, I don't know, not the best of times for people being people, and not being pigeonholed. And I think V5 has addressed a lot of that, and has started to look into the to help people with the kind of, I don't know, like, as I say, clan descriptions about things. Like I did the ministry video, and it was learning about that, and the script Chris has written. It wasn't about this one religion kind of thing. It's about all faiths, all religions, all walks of life, which is so inclusive if you want to play that type of character, if you see what I mean. You don't have to be. And so I like that. I think they've made the game more inclusive and easier to understand. They simplified it, and it's a really interesting read. So that's what hooked me with it. That's what inspired me about it. Was we've been racking our brains of how to do things like introducing the Ravnos clan into the game without the fucking horrible way the clan is described. And the same with things like the Assamites and things like that. They're stereotyped, and we really struggled with it. And then all of a sudden, all of those hassles and problems have gone away because V5 addresses that issue and once again makes it more inclusive. So it's not just a set religion that is doing something. It's now everybody. So and I think that's been really cool, because one of the things we've definitely spending a lot of time doing is trying to also not only create a vampire LARP, but create a LARP which is inclusive for new players, but also for everybody to play. So we're definitely looking at how we can address or how we can help people that have certain mental health conditions play the game. We'd want to give people options for like pre-warning about stuff. So I know I'm probably going to get shot in the foot for this, because this is another on the fence topic, but the whole traffic light system, that kind of form that you fill out, turns around and says, are you happy? Like, let's say if I was to say spiders, arachnophobia, you put green, I'm absolutely fine with it. Amber, it can upset me depending on the circumstance. Or red, now if I see the spider, I'm gonna I'm very unhappy. And you can indicate that, and that means if we're going to run a certain type of game that evening, let's just say we were doing something to do with torture or execution or something like that, we can say, hey guys, in advance, tonight's game is going to have amber in this and this. So you know what I mean, you're pre-warned turning the game. And we know if a player, because they filled in their form, if they're red to something and then turn up to the game because they want to try, we're putting a system in place where we can approach them before that event takes place and give them pre-warning if they still wish to step out. And if they find, because I found in LARP before, if I'm in a situation which I feel uncomfortable, I feel trapped, knowing that if I if I can't step away because I know I'm going to ruin everybody else's role play. So at that point, you feel trapped that you have to stay there and just grin and bear it until it's over, and then try to avoid it in the future. So what we want to do is give a system in place called the ref check system, where you can basically put your hand in the air and say ref check, and a ref can come over and then kind of in theory take over the character for you. So if you feel like I want to get away from this, you can by saying ref check. A ref comes over, you say, you'll be asked if you want to handle a situation defensively, aggressively, or neutrally. Basically, neutrally is not a word, but neutral. And that will then give the ref indication of how your character will react, and then you can step to one side and have a chat with God and chill out and relax. The ref will play that scene for you. As soon as the scene's over, they'll leave, come and have a chat with you, explain what's happened, and then you can come back in the room and carry on playing. So it's a means to allow people to always have an opportunity to step away.
That's really, really good. It's there are too many situations where you hear about in LARPs in general where people are put into situations that they are uncomfortable with. I've been doing my research and asking people about it this last week, and there has been situations where people have said, oh yeah, they've had the old guard, if you will. They've been like surrounding them, they put them down, and when they've gone, I'm not comfortable, I want to leave, it's like, no, we're only having a bit of fun, you have to accept this. And they keep on going on and on and on, and I'm just like, no, that's never the case. That is never the case. If you're uncomfortable, you leave. If they're trying to stop you, you shout at them and leave. If they're not letting you leave, someone comes over and helps you and you leave. Never be uncomfortable in anything that you ever do.
I think that, I think in the past, and this is not to say, basically this is a generalised comment, not aimed at anyone or any club, that the term "it's a dark game with dark themes," if you're not comfortable with that, don't play, has come up in conversation as a cop-out. It's to me, it's bitty, it's nasty, because what happens is that player who thinks, okay, it's a dark game with dark themes, that's okay. They're not expecting to walk into a situation that could be as graphic or as intimate as, they can be, and then feel that they've got no choice but to witness or be involved in it or take part in it. Because if they put their hand up and say, nah, then they get told, this is a dark game with dark themes. If you don't like it, please leave. And I think that's sometimes it's not a good thing for the community, and it's something that player will walk away, and when they're asked, have you ever tried Vampire LARP? Yeah, I have. I don't like it. Oh, why? What's that? Oh, yeah, because I had to do this thing where this thing happened, and it was horrible. And they're like, oh, I don't want to be involved in something that does that. That sounds really ugh. And then that's it. There's 5 players that will never do Vampire LARP because of that one situation that could have been completely avoided.
I think that's something that's across the board there with any LARPs. I've spoken to people who have said, when it comes to Empire LARP, you go, oh, I've heard this person had this horrible experience there, so I'm never going to go there. But the problem is that they will then go onto like all the Empire boards and go, oh, but what about this situation that happened a few years ago where you didn't do this, you didn't do this? It's like, but this has been changed now, but you're not willing to listen. This has all been rectified, sorted out. They've taken these steps and they've fixed it. So are you willing to listen to that? And they go, no, this happened a long time ago, and we're holding on to this, and we don't want to come back here, and we're going to stop people coming to you and stuff like that. I had an interesting conversation with someone who it was a term that I'd never heard of. It was the missing stare.
Okay.
Have you heard that term before?
No, that's new to me.
Chat probably will have heard of it, and it's someone who is socially awkward and things like that. The easiest way to describe it is it's that one person in your social group who you go, yeah, this person's like that, so be wary of him.
Okay.
that's a missing stair, because
Oh, okay.
you're taking steps to get past them. It's quite an interest. It was a really led to a really interesting conversation, because then I realised that I was just like, oh yeah, I know two people like that, and it's just like, holy shit. But thankfully, they don't play anymore. But it's like, yeah, it just makes you think. It really
Wow.
it did make me think.
Okay, so with the missing stair, then is that so? For example, I'm somebody who, let's say, I'm in a social group and people have things they like and dislike, or things that they're more comfortable with and not comfortable with.
Mm.
If I'm made aware of that, then I can then tailor my behaviour to suit. For example,
Yeah.
if someone says, "Mark, this individual doesn't really like graphic stories about foot scrub or something," I can then tailor myself so I don't talk about that in front of them, if you see what I mean, because I'm aware. Is that what you mean by the missing step, or is
No,
that?
it's someone who makes other people uncomfortable with their comments, their views, or anything like that.
Oh,
So, um,
what, on purpose?
yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Okay,
it's
yeah,
their own personal opinions, but they make everyone else around them uncomfortable, and they don't want to be around. People don't want to be around this person.
yeah. Because okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're up. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like example, that we know that person A may be racist, but
Yep.
he's a friend of the group and everyone on this, and everyone in that group sort of looks past it. This is all hypothetical. This is all
Yeah,
hypothetical.
yeah.
This is not a real example. And so that everyone around him go, oh yeah, by the way, but that guy over there, he's a little bit racist. And he goes, but yeah, you have to just ignore it. And it's sort of like, that's a missing stare.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. I don't want missing
No,
steps.
we don't want it. That's exactly the
Get
point.
out in the
Yeah.
nicest possible way. I feel that if you are someone who is a missing step, everybody's entitled to their opinions and views and everything like that. But when you're in society or when you're in a social situation,
Yeah.
you've got to kind of curb it, if you see what I mean, because
Yeah.
you're entitled to it, but at the same time, other people don't really have to hear it. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'll talk to you about it after. It's
Yeah.
I'll explain that one a bit more afterwards. We've missed quite a lot here.
Okay,
They've
cool.
talked quite a lot. So apologies for missing a lot of that. So Weird Phoenix says V5 doesn't have my favourite clan just yet.
Which clan is
Yeah,
that?
which clan's that? Stumpy Grumpy Grandad, for me, V5 Rouse mechanic makes so much more sense than Blood Points. It's one of those ideas that makes you go, how did they not think of this before?
Yeah. So we are using the Met rules. So in the Met rules, they are the rules. They use blood still, but hopefully in the future, a system like that may be implemented into the game, and that's something that we will definitely. Because I 100% agree. The fact that you get more hungry. That's what it's about. Is that control? If you're gonna poke your beast and ask it to help you to do stuff, your beast is going to start to take more control of you, and that's why that mechanic is so awesome, because it's for a storyteller's point of view and from a narrative point of view, or for you as a player, interaction. Yeah, if you start bringing your beast to the surface and doing more with it, it's going to start to take control. So yeah, I like it.
Weird Phoenix has asked, how are you addressing the beckoning? That would be my main concern.
Oh, the beckoning, what, the one that's going on that everybody's disappeared to, all the elders disappeared?
Yeah.
You mean by that beckoning? Then that would be what's the word for it? It's not implemented. Influential? No. Integral part of our game. And some of the stuff that's going on in the first 4 years will be related to that.
Cool.
So, yeah, let's just say that there's going to be lots of positions open for our lovely players to figure stuff out and try to gain control of Southampton as quickly as possible for their faction they choose to side with.
Yeah. They then said we have an ASL are throwing our hands up in the air and staff will immediately come over. Oh, so I guess that's for the traffic light system. So if they throw both hands in the air, then staff come running over. I've accidentally.
It's fantastic you guys are using that. Really is. You won't believe just how positive that's going to be for your player group, knowing that they can do that. Not a get out of jail free card or anything like that, but it's a get out of a very bad situation for them. So brilliant. Fantastic.
Stumpy saying, my generation still has so much to learn from younger ones about consent in LARP. I think that's just something that happened. It's just time and being open and listening, isn't it? At the end of the day.
I mean, you think about us. We've been playing Vampire LARP for a long time.
Long time.
This was never in it when we started. I've seen some horrible and been involved in some horrible plot lines because the whole point was it was experimenting in those dark themes. But I'd hate to think if anybody during those plots were affected by them outside of the game. You know what I mean? Because probably a lot were, but just didn't say anything.
Yeah. Alex has said, I feel we should have considered consent stuff a bit more back in the old days. I agree. It's hindsight is 2020, though, isn't it? That's the problem. So it's being dealt with now, and I think it's a big step. So truth, this is why afters are so crucial. It allows people to really talk about what happened. It allows for feedback and getting to know your player base and or your players. Because any game that I mean, I'm lucky with any game that I've run for people. I've known the people who are playing, so I know what they like, what they don't like, and I know what they can and can't handle. I did a Call of Cthulhu game on Wednesday on the channel, and it was really, really good fun, and it was a lot of it shouldn't be a laugh, but it was a laugh. I shot a priest in the back. It was amazing, and I shouldn't have done. It happens.
It's Cthulhu. You were scared.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to shoot someone else, but I shot it.
Scared.
And the first thing that the DM came out with was it's 1920s America. I am not going to include racism, sexism, homophobia. I'm not including any of that in the game because it doesn't fit with the Hefty Yeti community. And I was like, perfect. Yep, don't want it, mate. Don't want anything to do with it. So that's great. And we did. It wasn't needed. Perfect. Really, really good game. A lot of fun. So he did tailor it to what was needed. And I have played in a Call of Cthulhu game that had that in. And when it came up, it was a bit... I don't know how I feel about this. It's like, it's really awkward.
It's one of the things that, for me, in ours, we're not going to deny any of those things that have taken place in the world.
No.
What we're going to say is that vampires in our game don't really have a part in it or hand in it. They've got their own societies and events that are taking place that are vampire related, which is where, that's going to be the focus, if you see what I mean. Because for me, I think that to not talk about how to put this, people who talk about certain subjects that don't know what they're talking about can cause serious offence and can cause serious upset. And I think that trying to implement those events and things into the game without having a full understanding of it, and people interacting to it without having a full understanding of it, dilutes it and also makes it more of a joke when it shouldn't be. So I think that we're never going to deny that certain events have taken place and certain societies act in certain ways, but we just won't be I don't know, bringing it up, if you see what I mean, like on purposely pushing that into the game and saying, hey, this plot's all around this thing that took place. We don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And we're also saying if a character wants to come from a certain time in history, then they have to know that time in history. They actually have to do some research and prove their knowledge of it. In case that comes up in conversation, at least they can hold their own in that conversation and be knowledgeable about it. Which is, I know it's going to make people a bit, that's a bit but I think it's necessary to.
But I want to play a Viking.
Yeah, and if you wanted to play a Viking, then you would do your research on Vikings and know about what they were up to and what they did and where you were from and understand the culture and the heritage behind it and all of that jazz. Do your research into it. So when you turn up and play the Viking,
I have watched.
You know about Vikings.
I have watched all of the Viking series. I will have you know.
Which I would say that's a good starting point, but
Yeah.
let's go a little bit further. Let's pick up a book.
I got sent. I got followed on Twitter by a LARP group from Denmark.
Oh wow!
They run a huge 5-day Viking event, and it's in a proper Viking village. So you are away from everything. They say if you want to charge your phone, bring your own little batteries.
Wow.
There's no electricity there. There's nothing like that at all. They have a generator for emergencies, but everything else, if you want firewood, go and chop your firewood. If you want all of this, that, if you've got a horse, if you get it here, you can bring it. All of this sort of stuff. It's amazing. It's for, I think it was for 400 people, and you are assigned roles. So if you want to play it, if you just want to turn up and play it on an easier level, you turn up and they'd say, okay, you can be a Thane from that village over there. You can be a Thane from that village over there. You can be Aesatru. You can be Christian as well. So we're going to get that sort of role play going. You want to play it on hard mode? Right, fine. You can be a serf. You are going to be bringing people their food and drinks every night. Do you want to play it like that? And it's just like, wow. That's really immersive. And then they put the disclaimer out as well, just going, it was sexism doesn't exist in Viking lifestyle. It doesn't exist. So, but there are a lot of these other things that did exist. If you are comfortable to play them, then great. If you're not, then this probably isn't going to be the best one for you to come and play to.
But the fact is that they've given you pre-warning and said
Yes.
these not this is a Viking game where there will be Viking themes. It's, hey guys, it's a Viking game. These are the themes that are going to be in it. This is them listed out. If any of these may upset you or something like that, then we would recommend you not, maybe play this particular, a serf, for example, and play more this character because you'll be less in game. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And also the fact, Viking love, yes, please.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
yeah, definitely.
It looks
definitely.
The village looks amazing. It takes, I think it was a 45-minute drive into the hills. It's just like, oh, I have to do this. I have to play this at some point. Rewarden, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Stumpy said the problem is that some people don't see it as pretending those issues that didn't exist in the 1920s. Some see it as an excuse to be arseholes. But to be honest, unless it is the plot, it moves the plot forward, it's not necessary. Yeah, exactly. If it's not needed, you don't put it in your game. There's no point for. It's like going, I'm running this dark bit of plot about human trafficking and stuff like that, but all of this racism over there somewhere, we're going to look at that briefly because I'm a horrible racist. Just, there's no point. No point. It ruins the game. It makes everyone uncomfortable. Dave has asked, can you be a human in your game?
A human? Yes and no. So if you're a member of our NPC crew, there will be situations where humans will be present at some of the games, and that, yes, at that point you will be playing a human. As characters in the game, no. The closest you can get to that would be Katie or Duskborn, I think they're called as well.
Yeah, Duskborn.
So that's where we're going with that.
Cool.
If you're thinking of playing somebody's ghoul, then that would be a separate kind of conversation with a ref to make sure that both parties were happy about that and understood what it means. I think the best ghoul and Domina was Callie and Sam, who played an excellent Briar vampire with her ghoul, and they did a great job of playing that. But both of them were in full agreement.
Yes.
Of that. Because being a ghoul means you literally you're in love with the blood, not the individual, the thing that's in them, and you'll do anything for it, anything.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to have full agreement from all parties before it's allowed in our game.
Yeah. Weird Phoenix has said, are there and there are ways to crosswalk those themes in a way that is not emotionally loaded and allows players to consent to explore those themes, which are comparable. Caitiff, Golconda, Seekers, Salubri, things of that nature. Their favourite clan was Salubri.
Salubri. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Andy, but he's fond of Chiacid as well, wasn't he? I see from there.
Chiacid.
Yeah, so his entire game, I'm going to go and sit in a library. That's pretty much it. So yeah, it'd be a bit. Golconda Seekers, Salubri, things of that nature. There are lessons inherent within the world of darkness. There is no need to bring it into the world. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Because I mean, there was that with the old world of darkness. There was that horrible right wing sort of feel to parts of it.
There was way too many links to the real world, to
Yeah.
clans, history, events. I think it's maybe because that's because they were making the game from that. They hadn't generated 20 years worth of plot and ideas at that point. So now V5's come in and it can now pull upon more vampire related material and not real world related material. I mean, the fact that I think that possibly could be one.
Yeah, I mean, it's as Alex has said, it's a dark universe. It's a dark universe, but it's personal horror, and it's just worth making people aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
guess.
It's the consent. It's just making sure
Yeah,
everybody is fully aware about what they're going to be exposed to and is agreed to it, and doesn't feel they have to. I know that in other LARPs they have special rooms, which gets a bit seedy when you think about it, but it's not. It's in this room they're going to be dealing with feeding, for example, and you can go in there and take part in consensual hand over something feeding, which is pretty much if you're going to bite someone's arm, you put your hand there first and kind of bite your own hand, but it looks to someone that you're actually biting their arm, if you see what I mean. And then you'd have fake blood and all this kind of stuff. But when you've got somebody who's tied up and then people are doing that, it's very graphic. And some people may not want to see that non-consensual. Well, sorry, the view of it is non-consensual when actually it is consensual because they've got consent in that room for that to take place.
yeah,
But if that was in the middle of a room and you just walking by, you would go, what? Because there's someone wriggling and screaming and and blood and people going, yeah. And it would be even, what the fuck? So if I knew I was walking into that, then you're ready, you're prepared mentally, I think, So that's another way of handling it.
yeah. There was at Empire, one of the Navarre basically murdered someone, and they got blood eagled, and they actually laid it all on. They laid it out at a distance, so you couldn't get too close, but everybody was there watching this from a distance. And because they had people in the group who did prosthetics and stuff like that, so they actually, so it looked good, looked really, really good, yeah. And I was just there going, yeah, good, bitch. It was two young lads basically who had murdered someone, and and then So another story is that I went off and then I probably got executed for the murder they committed. So all's well that ends well. Nexus has just jumped in. Hiya, Nexus. Hope you're doing all right. I hope uni's going well for you. We Phoenix has said, I have one game that ended the Chronicle with everyone reaching Golconda.
Wow. Fair play to that. If they've achieved it. That's a big thing. But then again, Kane did put it there for... Kane may have put it there for a reason. Or no, it wasn't even Kane. It was God.
Yeah.
God gave Kane... Yeah, it was... if anybody wants to know the true story behind Kane, I'm plugging here, by the way. I've got a video with Mr. Rat who explains Kane, how he came to be. It's on the YouTube. So that will explain everything, including the Lego. That was a big part of the legacy. So, sorry.
Wow.
I thought... I was just saying that there may have been a part where Kane may have been, walking around in the dark, and there may have been Lego on the floor, because that is the worst torture, treading on Lego in the dark. So, yeah. So anyway, that's the story of Kane. If you want to hear the truth behind it, watch Mr. Rat's video.
We'll put all of this into the Discord. Oh, please tell me you had Lego in the video.
I didn't. No, unfortunately, I can't afford props.
This is true. Who's answered that one? Can you play goals? Yes. Oh, Alfie's donated again. Thank you for that, mate. Salubri suck to play. Let's go through it. Basic. Okay. I think I've missed a lot there, but it doesn't really matter. Someone's. What? That's fine too. I can't afford props. The haunter in me knows this feeling. If you think this is the worst torture, you've never had kids who own Furbies. Yes.
Wow, Furbies.
Yeah, they're old. I think I remember when my cousin taking the skin off of one.
Oh no, those are horrible. It's the ones where they go like that and they put their face and they go, and then it's just they put flesh. Yeah. The horror ones. They actually look pretty.
It was grim.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely grim. So we moved. So you did your announcement, and we've gone completely on a tangent. A lot of people talk about the tangents on my streams because they happen all the time.
That's fine.
They're great. I love them. There's clips on my Twitch that says another tangent. Oh look, another tangent and stuff like that. They happen a lot. So when Mind's Eye, not Mind's Eye, when By Night Studios reached out to you, then have they actually told you what they would like from you, what they would like you to do? Have they given you some things to say? Can you do this for us? Can you help us with that?
That, unfortunately, I'm not able to talk about. Unfortunately, but I can say that that from conversations with them, that like I said at the start when I was chatting with Ryan, and he was giving advice and guidance and asking questions, quite probing questions, which were fantastic because they made me and the team think. I think it's unfortunately I can't say too much in relation to that question, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
it's kind of related, I think. Probably not. Are they working on a London by Night?
That I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Because I read the one that they did before and it wasn't great.
What? A London by Night? What? As in like a
like a core book, like a
a core book? That I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So it wouldn't be a hefty stream without at least one tangent. Cheers, Dan. Thanks, mate. Will the Fall of London adventure have any influence on your game?
Yes and no. Yes, because I don't want okay, I've got to be very careful what I say here, because if I start to talk about the Fall of London, I could give away the book to people that haven't read it or done the adventure and all that jazz. So I'm just going to be as cryptic as I possibly can and say that there is outcomes to that book that will be left open-ended in our game, but we will definitely be using elements of Fall of London and events that take place in Fall of London and be referring to them as it's part of the world. Fall of London has happened. It's just the outcome of that. Although when you play it, your players will take direct influence of the outcome. We need to make sure that it's open-ended. Because otherwise, we've taken a choice and people may not agree with that choice.
No.
So that's the answer to that question, is what we can do. And I'm really sorry I can't answer it with more detail, but I don't want to spoil the book for others.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm going to try to keep things spoiler free.
Yeah.
So what is the next step then? What is it you're looking at doing next? What's next on your to-do list?
In the works at the moment, we've got the forum, which we've currently got all of the imagery created now, which is, we want to try and make the forum so you have your own clan page, which will have its own imagery for your clan, and then links to a biography, which will link photos and backgrounds for all of the characters that are basically in the game, including your own. So when you create a character, we'll take a picture of you, and then your character will forever be remembered in our biographies. And if your character was to unfortunately die, which is a part of the game, then a big red bloody X will be put over them, and how you died, or the suspected means of your death will be put there. This will be written from the point of views of harpies, or from the point of views of clan whips in a way, or whatever you want to call it. That someone in a clan, it'd be their perspective of things. Is how these biographies are written. So if you manage to piss off people that happen to write biographies, don't expect your one to be as glowing as others. But that is all part of the game. That's the role play element of it.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to represent how people who don't know you would get to know you from a distance. So who they would talk to, how they would read about you, stuff like that. In the end, it normally comes through harpies and stuff like that. That information would be divulged. That's how we're doing it. So that's in the works. I will admit that the forum has been our curse in over 2 years now. We've gone through so many issues with it, but it's getting there. The website's going to be updated because the website was created right back in the beginning. So if anybody hasn't seen it, if you go on it, there is a interactive page where you can basically click on the pictures, the text, and everything else. And there is basically we've got a voice actor who is taking the role of Samuel Poindar, and is basically explaining their family's history in hunting the vampires in Southampton over the course of, over 100 years. And so we've tied that into real life events that have taken place in Southampton. So everything on there is real. We've tried to make sure that if they're talking about an event that took place, like someone's murder or something like that, that it is as far back in history that no living relatives will be around today to be upset by it, if you see what I mean, if they were to stumble across it. That's what we've done with it. So it's worth a checkup just to have a look through there, and just if you've got a spare night, just to click and have a play. But once again, that's all going to be changing. That's now going to be the Samuel Poindar stuff is still going to be part of the website, but it's not going to be the focus of it. Say, hey, if you want to learn about the vampire hunters, go on this bit, but this is where we're going to put the rules, the code of conducts, the themes of the game, how to get involved, who to contact, all of that. So that's going to be updated. And then other than that, we're working on the downtime system, which is a beast. We're trying to bring in international play into the game, which I don't think everybody else has done before. I'm not sure, could be wrong. What we're trying to do is we're trying to automate as much as we possibly can. So by automating it, we allow people to directly take control of things and do things and feel impactful in the game, but not take up, 10, 15 hours of someone's life per month to do it. So what we're going to do is via kind of Excel spreadsheet things where you input some numbers this end, or you basically like drop downs. You select what you want to do, where you want to go, and all the rest of it. That then gets inputted into a spreadsheet, which then automatically generates a result. And then what we're going to be doing is the results of downtime will be done via a news report. So the role of an international player is to try and do as much stuff as you can to take control without generating too much noise. Noise is basically where you're leaving breadcrumbs and trails to you, the ancilla vampire, who is trying to use their influence and their muscle to get what they want, but at the same time doesn't want a trail back to them, because if they do, they've got to burn that persona and start a fresh one. So international players will all be basically playing around with noise levels. And as I say, they can take direct control of stuff, influence. That influence leads to them getting power plays. And power plays are things that can drastically change the game for the live players in regards to reduced feeding, less blood when you do feed, more downtime actions to feed. You can directly control police actions. You can start a ritual that can drastically affect the domain and all kinds of stuff. So power plays are what you can do, because at the end of the day, it's a war. You're trying to help your side, your faction, wrestle control of Southampton, so it turns everything one colour, basically. And to do that, that's where the international players come in. Those are the people that take control of the city. The live players are more the ground troops.
Weird Phoenix has just said influence wars. Yes, it does sound fantastic. I played I think when we had a chat about this, I remember being stood outside the pub, and because I brought up it was a Mad Hatter Games Presents, which was based out of America, and it was a forum-based game for their local LARP. And I played in the forum a lot, and I played it, and basically you could earn points and stuff like that, which you could then throw into XP. It's good. I mean, I know it sounds similar, but it's really not. And I'm going to say something now, which will really point out as to why. You're keeping your character player power levels fairly low and respectable, because they're doing the work for the big boys, aren't they?
Yes, in a way, yeah. It's the ancillars have all buggered off and are being beckoned.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they've got toys and they've got holdings and they've got influence and retainers and all this kind of stuff that they leave to run their stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what the international, now the live players, they're not ancillars, because if they were, they'd be beckoned away. So yes, you're right. Yeah, the lower end live players. Yeah.
So my brewer that I had in this system, you may recognise the name Jeremy Stevens, because I played him at UKM as well.
Yeah.
And I bought him in, and after playing him in their system for a year and a half, I had spent enough XP, and I had bought my generation from the 13th that you start at to 6th.
Wow. Okay.
I was running around with really stupid levels of protean, celerity, potence, fortitude. I had so much stuff. I was going up to people who were just there playing the influence game, but they had played for 5 years. I was just beating the shit out of them. And that was it. You could do anything that you wanted in that game, to the point of where I then took over as their head werewolf ref. And I was able to then put something into game, and I was warned immediately. So this would be that missing step thing, that there was a player there who had thrown a lot of money at the game. It was a pay-to-win site, essentially. Like Diablo, yeah, holy crap. It was holy crap. Let's put it that way. And so when I was running it as well, they said this guy has essentially thrown hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars at that site. He has bought all of these wonderful things. He wants, as a vampire, to come in and influence your werewolf game. You need to be able to control him. I said, what extent am I allowed? And they said, whatever you need to do to control him. So, I don't know how much you know about werewolf ranks.
Not a lot, if anything.
So, basically, think of it as just 1 to 5. And then you get the incredibly rare level 6, which is a legendary, essentially. Yeah. And I threw in a legendary Ananazi, which is the were spiders, who are stupidly OP. I threw in a legendary, one of them, so when he came in to get involved, she killed him. And only just was able to kill him. Okay. It was brutal. And he kicked up such a stink as well. Like rage quit out of everything. That was the only way I could do it. So it is the equivalent of having a character sheet with like 8 dots in everything and still only just being able to win a fight. It was brutal. And that's really took it to the nth degree, whereas you're keeping it at a sustainable level.
Yeah. So international players will not be given stats. Think of them as Nordic. It's more about international players can create a character, a persona, a place in the world which they own or look after or from, or whatever you want to call it. What they do is their XP is spent on influence. So it's more about their influence pool is what they actually have as far as XP is concerned.
Yeah.
Now, if they wanted to bring that character for reasons to one of our big Nordic LARP, the party thing, then that's fine, because that's a character we can then help stat, because the stats don't really matter at a Nordic. It's more about the consent conversation and telling a story and being part of other stories. So that's how the international thing is going to be handled. So if somebody does want to play the big, powerful, they can. It's just their influence would be representative as the same as everybody else's.
Yeah.
In regards to XP. For the live players, there will be a certain amount of XP that a player can earn in a year. And um, then the following year and the following year after that, what happens is if a new player comes into the game, they start with slightly higher XP, depending on how long the chronicle's been running. At the end of the 4-year chronicle, players are given the option to either become a legacy character or to retire their character. So if you become a legacy character, you basically, what happens is you cease to earn XP. So you stay at that level that you were at the end of the 4-year chronicle. And then you can play it for another chronicle, but after that you have to retire. But you don't earn any XP for that year.
Right, okay.
The reason why we're doing this is we're trying to make the game as new player friendly and inclusive as possible. And we feel that by extrapolating XP and making people really, really powerful in regards to stats and stuff like that, it's that kind of thing where it snowballs. And then a new player comes in, and the only thing you can do to bring them up to that level is give them a big whack of XP and say, go for it. The issue with that is they're a new player, so they don't know how to spend that XP. They don't understand all this, haven't gone through the process of learning it bit by bit. It's like if you're playing D&D and someone says to you, start as a 12th level wizard, enjoy. You would never have gone through all of the time where you've learned how you can use cantrips properly and those first level spells and how you can utilize them and all that kind of stuff. You miss all of that. So that's why we want to try and make it so XP will not be a big part of the game. It's more about, I keep on saying it, but inclusivity. So we want people to come along and enjoy themselves, be part of a story, create their own stories. And when I say become NPCs and legacy, every character will be able to leave a mark on our world. So that's where those biographies come in. That's where how we will generate NPCs in the world will come from player characters who have retired. You know what I mean? That's how we're going to generate it all. It's basically over the years the game is taking place. Players can leave their characters can wander off and be part of the London court or be part of the, go over to the States and become a character out there. So that's the kind of thing. We're also doing something with Bloodlines. So that may change up now because that was something we were big into when we were V20. But the idea being is when you create your character, you also create your character as part of an existing bloodline. For example, the line of Valerius. So your character could be the sire is part of that line, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
And then there'd be the line of Mithras, the line of Hardestat, the line of Anne, even though Anne is, in theory, Valerius. But it's a tree off to one side. That's the kind of idea behind it, is that way we would then have those characters will have their own goals and agendas in the world, and that's how the world plot is kind of generated.
Yeah.
And then because you're a Vontru, but you're a Vontru of Valerius, you may have a different viewpoint of how things should take place. You're being part of that bloodline means that you may be required to take a certain view on matters in compared to the path of Mithras.
Yeah.
And it can cause some inter-clan rivalries. We don't want all the clans to be all chummy.
No, of course not.
We're trying to generate as much potential story and plot between players as possible.
So is there a chance then that catch you later, Liam. He's got a photo shoot tomorrow, so he's got to bugger off. So I'll speak to you later, mate. So there's a chance then I could play one Chronicle and then retire that character. They go off, become Legacy. I'll make a new character for the next Chronicle, and then at some point I could bump into an NPC and it's like you playing my old character.
Yes, or you would
fantastic.
be, or you would be. Let's say you are playing a Camarilla character because you've chosen a faction Camarilla, which I will point out, if you do that, you can't attend the Anarch games, or you can, but that's a different matter altogether, different story.
Yeah, be prepared for a beating.
Yeah, but it's not to say that we would never ask you to basically to take away from your game by saying, we want to use your old character at this game. Can you not play your character tonight and play this? That would never be something we would do. But if, for example, there was an Anarch game going on and that character was going to attend there, we would offer it up to you and say, would you be interested in attending this game? No charge, etc., etc. Come along and play your character for the evening. You could be, those are the kind of options there. But yes, in theory, the idea would be that you could stumble across role playing with yourself, because one of our NPC, because what we're doing when we're generating NPCs, and what we're going to ask our players to do, is that you create goals and agenda. Oh, sorry, a goal and agendas, and your agendas are things that you will try to achieve at the game. So, building up a social network, getting X many boons, trying to get sway over the sheriff, blackmail the prince, whatever it is. These are your agendas. Your goal is then what is your retirement for your character, what you're trying to achieve. That's that's the dream, if you see what I mean. So it could be you're trying to, let's say you want to be a prince. So it's an easy one, this. You want to be a prince, but we all know to be a prince, you probably need to get yourself a coterie. So that's an agenda, a loyal group behind you, backing, support. You probably need to gain yourself support outside of the city as well. So maybe some boons over other influential members, maybe, that kind of stuff. And those are all the agendas that go with it.
Yeah.
So all of our NPCs have goals and agendas. So when they turn up to a game, they're not just there to talk about something that they've been there to talk about. They're also there they're there because they're trying to do their agendas. So there'll be loads and loads of player interactions, and a lot of the plot will generate from players and NPCs' agendas and their goal. We're trying to make it as political as we can as well. So
yeah, that's great, because that's the issue with a lot of Apocalypse Ups. They're not political. It's about who has the biggest stick and who can hit the hardest.
I mean, there's gonna be some sticks, and there's gonna be people hit by them, but we want to. I feel personally that the social political game of Vampire is where actually it's way more dangerous than the sticks.
Yeah.
If you get to the point where you're hitting each other with sticks, you've lost. Because no matter what the outcome is, we're kindred. We don't need to hit people with sticks. We get others to do that for us. Or we just strip away your power completely until you feel that even if you pick that stick up, it's not worth your time because everybody else is going to hit you with theirs. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing. That's what we want to try and drive towards, is that political social game where, you've got to be reasonably savvy.
Yeah. Weird Phoenix said, I had someone complain that there was no social political plot, so I tried to give him that, and he rage quit. Yeah, that sounds about right. The people who complain about the plot that they want isn't actually the plot that they want. They just want to complain.
Yeah, I think that we've had it in the past where the problem when you have social games is that players can sometimes feel helpless and cannot see a way of resolving the issue, and so leave. Because they feel their character has no choice, because they're at that point where, like I said about picking that stick up, there's no point in picking it up but I think we as a ref team need to be able there to support characters, and God will be there we call it God just because it's easy, but we may name it something else, but they're there to offer player support, and not in theory things like you should do this and then you'll win, but kind of like reassurance in that none of this is aimed at you personally. This is all part of the game, that kind of thing. Those kind of checks, mental health checks to say, although everybody in the court booed you a minute ago, they booed you for a reason. And that reason was because of something your character did, not you, your character. Yeah. So what you need to do now is to pick yourself up, get back in there, and then try to turn those boos into positivity, cheers, you know what I mean? Or find out who was behind those boos, and maybe manipulate others to get your own back on them and stuff like that.
Because I think that what comes with the game as well is that you have certain things that your character does, and it will make essentially your character has done something bad, or someone really high up doesn't like your character, so you are physically unable to attend on pain of death. I mean, I've definitely had this experience, and I've had this experience with my Giovanni in court, where the prince literally said no Giovanni are allowed. So as a player, I'm going, well,
what do I do?
Fuck. So I didn't actually attend for months, And then when he has an open court, I could attend. And then when the prince was removed, I then came back because I knew that I was a Giovanni. I knew he hated me. I knew that it was going to be really, really difficult. So I had to. It was like, well, I'm playing my character, and I know things will blow over or come up, and then I'll get the call every now and again saying, "Can you turn up?" And I did, and all this sort of stuff. So it was fine.
Yeah, hopefully we can try to avoid a situation like that in regards to you feeling, excuse me, that you cannot attend a game.
Hmm.
Where we're having so few games a year, we want you, the players, to feel that there's a reason for you attending. Everybody's been invited for a reason. So, for example, in that scenario, there would be a special dispensation given to you that evening by the prince to allow you to attend. Under these, you must attend, you must grovel to the prince and apologize for your previous actions or something, or maybe not to that level, but you get what I mean. Like an apology letter comes from your side to the prince, allowing you to attend the court for that evening, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's for us to facilitate, because I feel that to prevent a player from attending a game due to the role play that's taking place, in an ideal world, would be absolutely fine in regards to that's how vampire politics work. But that's not fun for you, the player, to feel like you can't play. So we need to give you reasons why you can.
For me, it was, I mean, I'd been playing at that point for probably about 15, 16 years. It was part and parcel, so I was like, okay, well, I can step away, and I knew that if my Giovanni wasn't in court, I was probably creating more questions than anything. There, where if I had turned up, then it would have been I'm giving the prince what he wanted. So it was like, I'm still playing the game. I'm quite happy. It meant I got some. Yeah, I was all right with it. I stayed at home. I drank. So it was all these sorts of things, but I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy it because it was all character driven, and it wasn't the ST at the time who was playing the prince going, "No, I hate you." It wasn't that at all, because we'd had that conversation, and he was just like, "This is just the way the game's going at the moment. Are you all right?" It's like, yeah, I'm fine. I've got so many computer games to play at the moment, mate. It's fine, and that was it. And I knew it was all going to come back. And at the end of the day, I was playing a Giovanni. I pretty much ran the city, so it was fine. I was all right with it.
Yeah,
it was great. So well, I've been going for an hour and a half. Have you got anything else that you would like to finish with, to close with? Because obviously I'll do the Discord channel. We'll get all that done. We'll get your website links. We'll get your YouTube links put in there as well. And you can write out a welcome thing for people, and I can pin that into the Discord too. So it'll all be there. So anybody who's interested can go in, can see that. You can interact with people there as well. So it's another forum for you to chat to people through.
Awesome.
As well. So
thank you.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Yeah, for me, closing out would be how to put this, community. That's kind of what that's the driving force behind all of this, which means that if you are a Vampire Lot organizer out there, and you want to basically promote your game, please get in touch with me, and I will try to promote you in some of the YouTube videos I'm creating. Maybe I carry out some interviews with you. Try to bring attention to your game, so that way players know that there's other Vampire Lots out there they can get involved in.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me. So Vampire Lore organisers or players of Vampire Lots, please feel like you can reach out to me, and I will do whatever I possibly can to signal boost your game via my YouTube channel. In regards to the YouTube channel, please subscribe, support, comment, share, talk about it, because the whole point of the channel is that the LARP is one aspect of Southampton Vampire by Night. The YouTube channel is the community aspect of it, in regards to, if you know, the content on there is all aimed at in my opinion, to help the community in regards to rules guides for the for the Met rules, introductions to clans. There was some stuff on there about how making a LARP and what's involved in it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, granted, I did go off on a tangent and do some Let's Plays because I just wanted to play Rat for a bit and have some fun playing Bloodlines. But yeah.
Guaranteed, people are now going to go and install Bloodlines.
Yeah, it was fun. Unfortunately, I made a huge workload for myself because what I did is I've done it from the point of view of Rat reviewing footage of another Nosferatu. So he's basically reviewing the footage of Pug. Pug is a newly embraced, wearing a gimp suit Nosferatu.
Wonderful.
And Mr. Rat is then watching the footage and recordings of his exploits and is commenting and giving his opinion on what he could have done better, and also giving tidbits of information to other clan Nosferatu out there of stuff that's happening. So that was the idea behind it. It just was a lot of work. So I've kind of put a little pin on that at the moment. That's for the future.
Yeah. Stumpy has asked, would you be able to assist with someone wanting to start a new vampire LARP?
Yes. So I'm more than happy if you want to reach out to me. We can arrange an evening where we can have a chat over Discord or something, and I will literally go through all the things that I've learned, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did, and then try to point you in a direction of individuals that may be able to help you as well.
Yeah, I will add to that. Mark was my ST at Vampire for a few years, and I don't think I've ever enjoyed the game as much. So you and Kit were really, really good. Dude. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. And the Southampton LARP UKM it's only going to get better now I'm involved.
Yeah,
it's not at all.
I'm looking forward to it though, because for me it's that kind of thing where I can just kick the boots off and just relax into a LARP.
Good.
I'm looking forward to it comes back.
I who knows what's happening with that at the moment. We haven't had a meeting for 4 months, 5 months.
I think there's a lot of LARPs out there going through the same thing. It's good. It's good in some ways because it's giving LARP organisers an opportunity to kind of go into stuff and figure stuff out and see what's important for the players and what they want to do. You've got time to think. For players, it just means you're getting super keen to come back and play some Vampire LARP like me.
Vampire and Empire for me, it's huge. There are, as I've now been made aware of, a lot of other ones there, and I'm going, I need to go and play that one as well. Like there's one in Denmark I need to go off to. There's 2 in America that I need to go to. There's the German ones as well. Ones in Germany that I need to go and play as well. So because that's just going to be outstanding. So it's all the longest dark from LARP, really, isn't it, for everyone? So
that's one of the things I'm looking forward to is when it all does clear up and everything goes back to normal. I'm looking forward, now I know about so many of these other vampire LARPs that are out there. I'm looking forward to doing maybe a bit of travelling and going to experiment and just experiencing other LARPs in the vampire universe.
I have been reached out to say, are you going to bring Mac to any of our LARPs? And I'm like, yeah, why the hell not? Definitely. I can turn up and put on a shit Irish accent for you. That's not a problem. It'll be such a laugh. I really, really want to do stuff like that because it's... it's just be...
I think especially with people in our position that are able to maybe create some content for it and then share that with everybody else, I think that it can also help to highlight those LARPs that are out there as well, which is good. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, really, isn't it? It's about
and
bigging it up. Fantastic hobby. Let's get it out there on social media.
Yeah. If you're ever across the pond, we play Chattanooga, Tennessee, in midwinter. Milwaukee. I'm definitely looking at traveling to do something like this because the stream for me has actually started to make a little bit of money. Not huge amount.
Awesome.
Yeah, not enough. It's I need a new PC, and it's everything's falling apart. so like all the bits and the subs and stuff like that. So it's like the Amazon Prime things as well. It all helps out massively. But I definitely want to get out to America to do some stuff there because they have Blockbuster LARPs. Have you heard of Blockbuster LARPs?
No.
I discovered this. I had all of this explained to me on Monday. These
As
are
in Blockbusters, the video store.
no,
I was gonna say.
no, as in
I want to rent this one tonight.
all Adventures in Babysitting
Yeah, yeah.
Tonight. Oh, I love that film. Oh, on another tangent, I had Eric the Viking turn up on DVD last week.
Eric the Viking.
Yeah, Tim Robbins, John
Wow.
Cleese.
Yeah, that's
I love that
Okay.
film. So funny. Where they go onto the island of Hybrids. It's one of my favourite bits. And you've got the lady. She's lying on a bed, just wearing a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and stuff like that. And all of these guys in the Viking get up, all really like axes, all their armour and everything. And they look at her and goes, and you got Thorfinn Skullsplitter, who's like the most violent, the most dangerous out of all of them. When the Thane goes, she's naked, and he goes, that's disgusting. And he's like this big brute of a guy who can't look at a half naked woman. So good, too good. Yeah, Blockbuster
Lot.
They hire out castles, submarines, tall ships,
Wow.
and stuff like that. They cost a lot to do. And yeah, they look amazing. And Jasper was just telling me that they do all of this. They got like Renaissance fairs. They hire out full farms and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
there for like 5 days and all of this. So
Yeah, that'd be lovely, mate. That's the kind of level I'd love to get to. Is to
wouldn't
give.
we all? Wouldn't we
Yeah,
all?
that's.
My big goal, my big dream for this is that if I've got to a point where I can go, I've made this much money, I've got this much money, I want to pay for like 15 people, when including myself, to go off to Germany to do like Drachenfest or something like that. I want to pay and get everyone to go, film the stupidity that will happen and stuff, and then yeah, it'll be a good laugh.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could get 15 people together to do that. So
Yeah, that's a definite.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of people look at me funny now, but I really want to go to the Harry Potter lot.
There's two. There's one in Brighton, the castle in Brighton.
There's one local. Unfortunately, when I say unfortunately, I understand why. I think it's over £1,000 a ticket.
What what's the name of the castle?
The local one.
Yeah,
It's just down the road from us.
yeah, Brighton.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's I think it's over £1,000 a ticket, which I can't justify at the moment on the lot, but
No,
it's definitely one that I'd love to try because I just like the idea of just immersing myself in a universe just for the fun of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about stats and character progression and all that. It's about turning up and learning how to be a wizard.
yeah.
Um,
On that note, have you seen the Harry Potter videos on YouTube where they replace the word wand with penis?
no.
Your penis, Harry. Use your penis.
Okay, I will say I probably am going to look at that up.
I know.
Links are in the description.
They probably will be. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for coming on again, Mark. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for having
it,
me.
mate.
I really enjoyed it.
We'll do it again in a year.
Yeah, see where we are.
See where we are again. It's a nice little mark, isn't it? So
well-
it's
Next time we'll be in spaceships. That's what it's going to be. There's going to be in spaceships behind us or something.
yeah. Next time, yeah. Everything we'll have to see how we've improved again next time. But you've just moved into your new house, so everything for you is brand new, isn't it? So
It is very exciting times.
yes, and congratulations are definitely in order for you and the wife.
Yeah. Little baby Ben on the way.
Little baby Ben.
January 19th, I think 19th or 16th of January is the expected due date.
Wonderful.
Gonna be a daddy. Looking forward to it. We've already got the little uniform prepped and ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really really excited about the whole thing.
Good.
Because yeah, long time in the waiting for this. So
Yes.
yeah, new house, baby on the way. Yeah, life's going good at the moment. I'm
Good.
happy.
Good.
Um,
You seem a lot happier. You do seem a lot happier, mate. It's good to see. Really, really good to see. It's yeah, and being a dad, it's one of the best feelings in the world, mate.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Really am.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking as one who my full custody went through 5 months ago, so I've now got full custody of my little demon. I mean, daughter. She's wonderful. So, take care, Weird Phoenix. Thank you for coming along. So, just avoid Furbies as a dad. Exactly, Stumpy. So, thank you everyone for coming along to watch tonight. It's been such a good laugh, and really, really nice to catch up and to see where everything was going. Great stream again. Nice to hear about a different LARP. We'll look at the links when they're on Discord. Yeah, I'm going to get onto that, so they will be on this evening. So, yeah, so we will crack on, and I'll get all of that sorted. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for the follows, the subscribes, the bits. It all helps, and it keeps the keen going. We're going to do this. I think I've got an entire month of Empire streams coming up. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it, actually. It's good fun. It's good fun. So thanks everyone in chat. Thanks all for coming along and watching. Hopefully we'll see you again next time. And everyone take care.
See you later, everybody. Bye.